I think if this team's going to win a championship, it's got to improve defensively. But luckily, this is a Kirby Smart coach team, and they seem to already be improving defensively. Because I think if this team is going to like win something down the stretch, like I think multiple guys who I think are going to be difference makers. And I got to start with Elijah Griffin. He played the most snaps in the game. Like Georgia's hasn't had just a game wrecker on that defensive line this year. Christian Miller's a good player. There's just not a lot of guys that are just like beating blocks. And Elijah Griffin was just beating blocks on Saturday against Texas. Like getting pressure from the interior. I forgot what that was even like as a Georgia fan. Like I can see the Jalen Carter comparisons. I shouldn't even said that. I'm premature. But yeah, Elijah Griffin, I think being a difference maker on the defensive line, I think it's just going to be massive for this defense moving forward.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely a tough ask to ask a true freshman to be like a, really game-changing force on the defensive line, because, that might be the position that's more dependent on like physical maturity than just about anything else. But yeah, I mean, like we've heard all of the things about Elijah Griffin over the summer, and he was this really, really big build recruit. Like, if anyone is going to provide that type of difference making, I feel like it would have to be him, just because he's the biggest, like, unknown, least proven commodity guy that we've seen flash it, things like that. I don't know if I would go as far as to be like, I don't think he is going to be a Jalen Carter type player at this point in his career. I mean, no one really is.
I was getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, no. I mean, no one's Jalen Carter, right? Like, Jalen Carter is maybe the best Georgia player I've ever seen in my life, but like,
he might be the best defensive line we ever have.
Yeah, but I mean, he definitely looks like he has a really great career ahead of him, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if we get like a big Elijah Griffin stuff play or a sack at some point in this season in a big spot, like, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing to me. But I don't know. As far as like his impact over the rest of the season, I'm going to be pretty cautious and try to keep my expectations for a true freshman in check. But yeah, no, you definitely see you can see the future sometimes when Elijah Griffin rushes over the middle.
For sure. And I had a couple more, but do you have any guys down the stretch who are going to help this team that maybe, haven't made the biggest impact just yet, but they're kind of coming on at the right time?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to the edge. This is okay. I've got two guys. I want to shout out DeMello Jones. I feel like we haven't talked about DeMello Jones enough on this show.
He was on the list. He was on the list for sure.
DeMello Jones has been an absolute dog at corner. I mean, he's their most physical DB. He plays every rep with fire, passion, energy. Right. I mean, that's what Kirby always wants to see. I think DeMello Jones it epitomizes that pretty well. And then the other guy I want to talk about on the edge is Zayden Walker, who I brought up earlier, but I think that's a pretty crazy development that they've got this, true freshman. I think he might be a redshirt, but I'm pretty sure he's a true freshman.
Yeah, he's a true freshman.
Yeah. And who was supposed to come in and be an off-ball linebacker, and that was going to be his thing. But then halfway through the year, Georgia's staff took a look at their defensive line and their issues as rushing the passer, and they're like, hey, this guy is like 6'1", has really long arms and is really athletic. Like, let's just use him as an edge rusher and see if it works. And he had his moments against Mississippi State where he looked pretty good rushing the passer, and then against Texas, like, he was really good. He had a sack, like he forced a fumble. I mean, I think Zayden, if anyone is going to be, I know I just talked about Gabe Harris. I think Gabe Harris is still going to have to be their best overall player at edge rusher. But like, if they can get some like random unexpected juice out of Zayden Walker off the edge, that could completely transform the defense, just because that was a guy that like hadn't been playing. And now you drop him in the lineup and now he's playing. That might be even more transformative than Gabe Harris from that point of view, just because it's like, well, Gabe Harris has been on the field all year,
Yeah.
Walker hasn't. And they just kind of drop him in out of position, and he's already making an impact. So I'm really excited to watch him. I like Zayden Walker a lot, and I think he could be a really cool player down the stretch and really shore up maybe weakest area of the entire team.
Those are the exact two names on my list, sir. DeMello Jones and Zayden Walker. Kind of remind me of like Channing Tindall, maybe like a young Quay Walker. Just kind of playing.
Great comparison.
Yeah, like Channing Tindall was so good rushing the passer. When Georgia won, and this is kind of what we predicted mid-season or preseason, but it wasn't Zayden Walker we were predicting do it. Like we were expecting Justin Williams and Chris Cole. Yeah. Like we're just going to play as many inside linebackers as we can.
Or like
get these guys on the field.
That was the 5-star edge rusher.
Well, yeah, he was, but I'm just talking in terms of getting inside linebackers on the field. I thought it was going to be like Channing Tindall, like him. The three of them were seniors, right? Tindall, Nakobe Dean, and I guess Quay Walker wouldn't have been. Wait, yeah, they're all in their last year. Right. So you just got all of them on the field at the same time. Like I thought George was going to do that with Chris Cole and Justin Williams, along with Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen. And I wouldn't think we were going to true freshman, like third string inside linebacker to get our pass rush. But seeing Zayden Walker making plays on the field, like this dude he looks like an athlete, and it gets you excited for sure. And I gushed enough probably on our Sunday show about DeMello Jones and how excited he gets me, how he revs my engine.
Yeah.
But DeMello Jones, he's just a dog, and he's one of Georgia's 5 best DBs. I don't know if it's like star or if it's just the second corner spot, but this dude needs to be playing every down as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. Like they've got a pretty good problem to have at corner because I think Ellis Robinson is also starting to play better. And obviously, like you don't take Dalen Everett off the field. Dalen Everett is a true shutdown corner. So I guess the odd man out there is probably Daniel Harris and maybe Janelle Aguero too. But Aguero is playing star, which is like a completely different thing. But yeah, I agree.
I think DeMello Jones was playing some star versus Texas though.
Yeah, he was.
If Ellis Robinson, if you trust him more, like I think you could leave him at that second corner spot and have DeMello Jones at star. Like I think those are the 3 best, along with KJ Bolden, the 4 best DBs Georgia has. And I don't think Aguero can play safety, so I don't know if Zion Branch, if he's the guy who's going to take that role. I was surprised at how much he played against Texas. But yeah, I don't know if it's Ja'Cory Harris has obviously been the guy this whole season, most of the season since Kyron Jones went out. But yeah, maybe it's Zion Branch moving forward. I don't think any of these corners can move up to that safety spot. So
yeah, and that they do have a problem at safety. I just think they do because even KJ Bolden, I don't think has really made the leap that any of us were really thinking he would this year. He's been a little bit of a disappointment, and Zion Branch probably the best reserve that they have, but I don't really trust him to keep up with some of like the twitchier receivers in the country down the field either. He's a pretty good tackler, but in coverage, I just don't know how I feel about that. So like the back end of the defense overall, I just don't know is really that great.
Yeah.
I really hope we see Kyron Jones at some point again this year, but it doesn't really feel like that's going to happen unless they make a really, really, really deep run. Then maybe he'd be able to come back. But yeah, they've got some issues at safety. But I think Branch is probably the guy to have back there if Kyron Jones is just done.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Adrian Maddox and Jaden Harris have just not even really got on the field at all, other than special teams. Like haven't really got on the field at all. So, but yeah, anyone else you want to shout out, sir? Should we get more love, or who's gonna make a difference on the stretch?
I mean, Noah Thomas has caught 3 touchdowns in the last 3, 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns,
in the last 3 games. I mean, that was a guy that we really said was gonna have to step up without Colby Young, and he doesn't do everything that Colby Young does because nobody really does. Colby Young is just a sick player, but as far as picking up the slack as an X and just being a reliable guy, like he's doing that. Noah Thomas has been really big these last few weeks, and I didn't think that turnaround was going to happen. I thought that he wasn't playing earlier in the year for a reason, but he's gotten his opportunities and he's really run with them. So shout out to Noah Thomas, man.
For sure. And it kind of, I know like last year and maybe even some this year, like when certain guys a Jackson Meeks or a Anthony Evans goes somewhere and is putting up stats. It's like, oh, why couldn't we do that with these guys? And it's like sometimes these guys just are capable of putting up good stats somewhere else, and they are legitimately not good enough to play at Georgia. So it seems that Noah Thomas is a good player. He just wasn't able to get into that like top 3 basically that Georgia was playing, and now, yeah, that's a good call because he's definitely stepping up and being exactly what he's supposed to be, a big red zone target, big play target, and he's made some big plays.
Absolutely.
Also, shout out to London Humphrey, who just only makes big catches.
Oh,
it's either 3rd down, 4th down conversions, or it's touchdowns, or it's both. But yeah, London Humphrey just only makes big plays.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun watching this receiver group last year. I mean, we don't even need to mention Zachariah Branch because everybody knows how good that guy is. But after how frustrating last year was, it will always break my heart that Colby Young got injured because I really do believe that he's just such a good player and he was having such a great year. But no, man, they've got guys. I mean, and even the young guys, I believe in Taylor and I still believe in CJ Wiley. This is a really fun group, and it's been a lot of fun to watch Gunner connect with these guys this year. It's definitely been a lot different from last season where the vibes were just kind of shot.
Gunner fires that thing in there too. It's not like he's throwing when Mike Vick, like the post Mike Vick years, like, oh, Roddy White actually can catch the ball.
It's just
Mike Vick's just throwing the thing too hard. It's like Gunner's firing that thing in there and they're catching it way better than they did a year ago. But it's a little bit different personnel than it was a year ago. So
a little bit.
But yeah, I think this team, I really like where this team is right